Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Earthlings, people of the United Kingdom, people of the world, and people far away. So what we're going to talk about today is something that it's been kind of on a back burner. We're going to be talking about aliens, UFOs, UAPs, demons, the reality of some strange stuff that's happening right now. Now, listen, guys, I totally accept that this video is not for everyone. And this live stream will be talking on like things that are a little bit weird. So maybe you want to don your tinfoil hats. Maybe you want to don your tinfoil hats and maybe, you know, lock the doors, lock the windows, put surgical tape around them so no like entities can get in. Now, just let me give you guys a little bit of backstory before I get into this. Do you know what? I need to add on to there as well, the Sphinx, because we are going to be talking about the second Sphinx. Is it Sphinx or Sphinx? The second Sphinx that's being discovered in Egypt. Now, let me just give you guys some context to this, because I know I've not done one of these videos for a while. I am quite skeptical. I am quite skeptical about all this alien, UFO, UAP stuff. However, you know, I'm not saying that it's not real. So in my previous videos, what I've said is, and it's probably been like maybe 4 weeks since I've done a UFO alien update. But in my previous videos, what I've said is, you know, do I think that there is alien life out there? Yes, it's like a mathematical certainty that with our understanding of the universe, that aliens, some sort of intelligent life does exist on another planet. You know, it's like the amount of galaxies and stars, it really is like the odds are like it's practically like statistically like impossible that there isn't aliens. It's like a mathematical certainty. So with that, the next question is, do I think that aliens have come here in little tin cans shaped like two plates two plates? I feel that's unlikely, like really unlikely. Now, when I say it's unlikely, what I need to caveat with that is it's unlikely with our current understanding of physics, right? E equals mc squared. Nothing will travel faster than the speed of light in a vacuum. Now, so what that means is there's like two real options, and then there's maybe some fringe options. So the first option is, if aliens have come here in little tin cans, then they are operating outside of known physics. What does that mean? I don't know, because it's outside of known physics and we don't know it. The second option is that they're already here. And there are plenty of places that like aliens could hide on Earth. And by Earth, I mean the moon as well. So there could realistically be UFOs, aliens, or demons, whatever we're calling them, on the far side of the moon. 100% that could happen. And in that context, could aliens come from the moon in little flying saucer-shaped things? Absolutely. That is, 250,000 miles? That is an absolute possibility, you know. So maybe the aliens have got some sort of base on the dark side of the moon, or maybe inside, I don't know, but maybe that's another option. And another option is that they are actually, or maybe both, you know, maybe there's an alien base on Earth, maybe it's in the bottom of one of the oceans or in Antarctica. I don't know. Now, without going into like really fringe stuff, and I'm not saying that, look, you know, and people, if people question you on this, just say to them, right, okay, listen, the world's leading scientists thought that the world was flat for hundreds and hundreds of years. It was only like, I think it was like 400 years ago or something, where people started to float the idea that, hey, do you know what? Maybe the Earth isn't flat after all. And I do think we're at that singularity right now. So for those of you guys who don't know, when astronomers used to try and understand the cosmos and look at the stars and think, right, what are these little dots that move around, you know, and they'd call them planets. They couldn't work out where they would move and how they would move in such strange locations. because they always used the underlying assumption that the Earth was the center of the universe and the sun rotated around the Earth and the moon rotated, which it does. The moon orbits around the Earth, which it does. But they thought the Earth was the center, right? As soon as they said, maybe the sun's the center and everything orbits the sun. As soon as that happened, everything changed. All the models made sense, and everything made sense, right? Everything made sense. So let's not write off alternate ideas. Let's not write off alternate, alternate theories. So I'm going to start with a video that I played last night. So last night at the end of the live stream, I think it was Googleinos. He was saying, "Sean, play JD Vance's video." So I did, and then I said, "Look, guys, I don't want to steal my own thunder for tomorrow because I am gonna be doing a UAP UFO update. So I'm gonna start with this video that I shared last night, but I will be giving a lot more commentary to this video because if you guys put this into context, these are things that have really happened now. Whether you believe in aliens or not, I totally understand. You may not. But let's just look at the facts, okay? So without going down any conspiracy lane right now, for now, let's just look at the facts, right? The actual facts. What people have said. And these are not just, this is not just Jono down at the pub who's 62 and he's only ever been to one pub in his entire life. These are Barack Obama, the former US president, Donald Trump, and JD Vance, the current second in command of the United States. So Barack Obama, was it last month? I think it was it seems like forever ago. I think it was last month, February 26th. Barack Obama came out quite publicly and he said, yes, aliens are real, but they're not at Area 51. Okay, where are they, right? So that really happened. That 100% happened. The United States, Donald Trump, So Donald Trump, two things about this Trump statement. Donald Trump said he's going to release all information about UFOs, UAPs, and non-human intelligence, right? That actually happened, right? That happened. That's real. We're not making that up. The United States government have opened two websites. There's nothing on the websites yet, or there might be. There wasn't the last time I checked, but there might be now. There's two. The United States government have opened two websites. One of them is called www.aliens.gov. So US domain, the same people who operate all the US websites. So it's alien and aliens.gov. They've got both of those domain sites now, and they are being, you can only assume those websites are being built by the US government. And then we've got JD Vance. And JD Vance said this. I'll share JD Vance's video now because there's a lot more to this, and people are just skimming over this, guys. So let's just unpack what JD Vance has said.
What? Have you done a peek? I mean,
So I did share this last night, guys. Like I said, when I was on last night, I said I don't want to steal my thunder because I will be sharing this tomorrow. But, you guys are asking for it, so I'll share it. So let's just listen to this exchange, and I will be stopping it at various points.
You're going to release all the UFO files?
We're working on it. It's funny. When I came in, I was obsessed with the UFO files. And then you start getting really busy worrying about the economy and national security and things like that. But I've still got 3 more years as vice president. I will get to the bottom of the UFO files.
Okay, so first of all, I feel that statement is fair. I feel that statement's fair. When you move into what if you imagine, right? That just imagine that there's a shadow government. Just let's go down this track, guys. Okay, let's just pretend that there is some sort of shadow government behind the scenes, right? That shadow government doesn't want to be disturbed, right? It doesn't want to be disturbed. They just want to continue. They just want to continue their work, doing whatever shadow government work does. And when somebody like, whatever the leaders are, JD or DJT, when they come in and they say, right, we want you guys to release this information, they're not going to make it easy. They're not, they may or may not comply, or there may be some information that's redacted. But when you move into that position and you are busy doing other tasks, like there's a war, right? JD, are you going to go looking for those aliens, or are you going to sort out these ships? Well, I need to sort them ships out first. And it takes up time. It does. It definitely takes up time. So when you go in there, you want to do something, it does take time.
Have you peeked? Have you done a peek?
Have I what?
Have you done a peek? I mean,
So I actually haven't. I have
full
not.
Independence Day.
I have not been able to spend enough time on this to really understand it, but I am going to. Trust me, I'm obsessed with this. I've already had a couple of times where I'm like, all right, we're going to Area 51. We're going out to New Mexico. We're going to sort of get to the bottom of this. And then the timing of the trip just didn't work out. But trust me, anybody who's curious about this, I'm more curious than anybody. And I've got 3 years of the very, very tippy top of the classification. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, so I don't know how it works, but I'm pretty sure that, like, if he just turned up somewhere, would they have to let him in? You see, it would depend on his clearances, right? If he has got the full set of high-ranking, secret clearances, and I don't know if he has, that's, it's an erroneous assumption to think that just because somebody is like a prime minister or a president, that they are fully secret cleared. They might not be fully secret cleared. I can tell you this for free. If David Lammy ends up being the Prime Minister of Britain, he won't be secret cleared. He is not a chance secret cleared. The intelligence services, they will be like, yeah, we're not briefing him. Yeah, he's not coming in here. Yeah, what? David Lammy's at the door. Yeah, just put him off. I know for a fact that will happen. So just because someone is the leader of a country, the leader of a state, president, prime minister, supreme leader, maybe supreme leaders actually, you shouldn't assume that they have the highest security clearances, right? However, if he does, and I actually think he would, if you do hold that high security clearance level, then I'm pretty sure you can just turn up somewhere and say, hello, mate, let me in. What are they going to do? They're going to say, no, you're not allowed in.
Okay, so you haven't been to Area 51 yet.
Not yet.
Some
not
people
yet.
say they keep the UFOs in Ohio. They might,
Hangar 18, Hangar 18, right?
I've
heard that as well, but I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay, all right. Well, we're waiting for it. We saw aliens. We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway. But
so he just casually dropped that. So did you hear that? He just says, I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons. And he just casually drops it, right? Casually dropped it.
We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without a follow-up on that. Because Barack Obama is on this podcast and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but like, here's where they're not. And,
I did not.
And so Obama says, yes, aliens he gets asked point blank, are aliens real? Oh, yeah. And then he goes, but they're not at Area 51.
Where are they?
Well, that's what he says. Right. That's a great question. Trump had to go save him, and he said he's going to declassify. Okay. So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that the desire to describe everything celestial, everything is otherworldly, to describe it as aliens. I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there.
Okay, so yes, there are weird things out there, and I think that statement in itself, I'm going to focus on that for a second. So, if we're saying, right, JD Vance is saying they're not aliens, they're demons. Now, the flip side of that very same coin would be, now he's saying this clearly from somebody who is a Christian, and he's looking at this stuff and he's saying, right, I'm seeing biblical context here. I'm seeing these things as not as aliens and UFOs, as demons. Now, the flip side of that coin is people can interpret the Bible, and I think my phone's ringing. People can interpret the Bible. People can interpret the Bible as, well, do you know what? these things in the Bible, they're not angels, they're not demons. What they actually are is, space travelers, people from another planet, people from another world, maybe even people from an alternate dimension. So I think it's the same thing. I don't know what it is. Let's continue.
There are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people he never existed.
So this interview, let's just consider this, right? Let's just consider this. You've got now the vice president, I think that's his title, the vice president of the United States, just casually dropping the D-bomb, right? He's just dropping the D-bomb, the demons bomb. He's literally saying right there that demons are real. So I don't know which one's wilder, guys. I don't know whether UFOs are, whether we say UFOs are real and that's the wild one, or whether it's demons, right? So these are real things that have happened. Now, whether you guys believe in little green men are running around with long fingers and, probing people, or whether you think it's a load of BS, that interview actually happened, right? That interview was real. Nobody's denying it. Nobody's saying it's AI. So where do we go from this? Well, if we backtrack on like a couple of the videos I've said previously, when we've talked about what I've said in previous videos is I do think that this is going to happen this year. I think it's going to happen this year, and we are going to be told this year, some point, the information is going to be released that aliens are real. And this is everything right now, guys. I think it's all about the Epstein files. I think it's all about the Epstein files. I think we're going to be told 2026, 2025. Was it 25, the Epstein files? I don't even, I think it was 25, right? So 2025, right? The Epstein files are released, okay? What the Epstein files did is they brought into the conscious of people this thing about adrenochrome, right? They brought that, everybody starts, and you're looking at this and you're thinking, right, this can't be real. This cannot be real. This cannot, 1,000,000%, this cannot be real. Anyway, and look, let me caveat this, right? I don't know what's real. I'm just telling you guys what's coming, and it could all be a fake psyop. It could all be some sort of Operation Bluebeam. I don't know, but this is what I'm seeing. And everything that's and all these little, these other data points, they're all adding weight. They're all adding weight to this now. So 2025, 2025, everyone's introduced to adrenochrome, right? With the Epstein files. January, was it January? No, it was January 20. Sorry, let's go back even further, right? January 2025, right? Jeremy Corbell does a video. I think it was January. I've shared it quite a few times. I'm not going to share it again. Jeremy Corbell did a video, and he said that the lie that you're going to be told is there's an alien armada slowly making its way to Earth, and it's going to attack us or something. And he even said the date. He said 2027. I actually think there's a misunderstanding of this. But that happened. I'll tell you what I think. All right. So that happened early 2025. Late 2025, there's the release of the Epstein files, which brings adrenochrome. Everybody's talking about adrenochrome and thinking, is this real? Is this real? Is it pizza? Pizza, hot dogs, beef jerky. I love all those things, guys. I do. I love all those things. But now I know what the hidden text is. I'm like, oh God. I don't even want to ask the girls anymore if they want. When you shout up, what do you want for dinner? And when they shout down, can we have pizza? You're like, oh God, no, you can't. So 25 introduces us to adrenochrome, right? 2026, the year we're in right now, UFO disclosure. These things are happening, right? UFO disclosure at this year, some point, I believe we're going to be told that yes, there is non-human intelligence and it has been coming to Earth. The evidence will be there. And people will just pick through this themselves. Remember, when we do war analysis, when we do civil unrest analysis, these things happen slowly so people can digest it, right? So in the back of some people's minds, they're thinking, right, okay, right, there's this adrenochrome thing. Now they're thinking aliens. Oh, God, aliens are here. Oh, my God. Then 2027, next year, we get told that aliens are on their way. And I think we are going to be told that the UFOs, UAPs, aliens, whatever you guys want to call them, are on their way here, and they're going to be here 13th of April, 2029. Very specific date, guys. I've been warning you guys about this for a long time. That date, to me, it's going to be etched in my... I might even have it tattooed. I might even have that tattooed, guys. Oh, and it's a Friday the 13th as well. That's when the asteroid Apophis... That's when the asteroid Apophis makes its closest path to Earth. And if you guys don't know what Apophis is, go and do a quick Google search on it. It's an asteroid that is coming so close to Earth, it's going underneath some of the satellites that we have around Earth. It's going to go underneath them. Yeah, that doesn't sound good, does it? Doesn't sound good. It's coming too close, too fast. There's so many data points that are pointing in that direction, right? That's what I think's coming. We're going to know very soon. If this alien disclosure does happen, you guys can assume that the next thing is that they're coming and the aliens are going to want to harvest our adrenochrome. If you guys have watched that movie, go on, Jupiter, what is it? Jupiter Ascending? Pretty much the premise of that movie. Right. However, let me give you guys an update on what's happening with this, the whole UFO, UAP disclosure phenomena thing. So while here in Britain, we're grappling with wars abroad, energy crisis, tensions on our street, something quite extraordinary is unfolding across the Atlantic, and dare I say, above us in the skies. In February, so these are the facts, guys. I'm going to give you the hard facts, right? These are, so whether, look, guys, I've debunked so much of this stuff. I really have. I've debunked so much of this stuff. However, this is really happening, right? So, what was it? Early February 2026, DJT directed the Pentagon, the official, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and other U.S. agencies to begin identifying and releasing files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. Yeah, that really happened, and that is really happening. I'll say that again, guys. Okay, DJT instructed basically US government to release any and all files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. Oh, yeah, no biggie. And the UFO UAP phenomenon, or whatever it's called. So Donald Trump, I guess, he cited the tremendous interest in this topic, sparked in part by comments from former President Barack Obama, suggesting that aliens are statistically likely to exist somewhere in the universe. I agree with that 100%. Trump wasted no time posting on his Truth Social that these highly complex but extremely interesting matters need to see the light of day. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, I think I bet Pete Hegseth is fantastic at drinking. I bet he's real good at drinking, guys. I bet he is. I bet I could get him here and have a fantastic drinking party with him. So Pete Hegseth quickly confirmed that the Pentagon was working on it right away and said they would be in full compliance. He even added a little alien emoji and a saluting emoji. This is where we are, guys. This is where we are. We're using emojis. I think I was, you know what, guys? I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm pretty sure I was one of the pioneers of sending very serious stuff with emojis. I was doing this way back years ago. Anyway, so we put the little emoji on it for good measure, telling reporters, we'll see when asked if aliens exist, adding that he didn't have this task on his bingo card in the context that, you know, he didn't think he'd be doing this when he joined up. Then just a few weeks ago, so what we know is that this is not just this is not pomp and pageantry now, and it's gone and it's just gone away. A few weeks ago, in the midst, you know, while this war's happening in the Middle East, the US government quietly registered 2 peculiar new websites, peculiar new web domains. One was aliens.gov and 2 alien.gov, and the second one was aliens.gov. The White House response, when asked about them, simply said, "Stay tuned," again with the alien emoji. So just for context, the same people who now run the White House website, run all the DoD websites, run, you know, all the US state websites, now have 2 domain names, alien.gov and aliens.gov. And I don't think they're talking about the Sigourney Weaver movies, although it may be. They're great movies. Now, for many, including me, this feels like the closest thing we've ever had to a full-scale UFO alien disclosure, an official countdown to some sort of disclosure. The Pentagon's dedicated UAP office, known as AARO, AARO, already has a caseload of over 2,000 reports going back decades. Most cases turn out to be drones, balloons, birds, satellites, or sensor glitches. However, a small number remain genuinely unexplained, and it only takes one, guys. It only takes one. Showing unusual flight characteristics that defy ease of explanation. And again, I've debunked a lot of those, guys. I've debunked a lot of those. I debunked the Tic Tac. I debunked the Tic Tac. I've debunked these orbs. A lot of these orbs I'm seeing, guys, I do think they are a lot of these orbs, I think it's laser plasma. Yeah, laser plasma from submarines. I'll talk about that afterwards. Anyway, so far, the official line from the AARO remains the same, that they have found no evidence of extraterrestrial beings, recovered alien craft, or reverse engineered non-human technology. But the promise of never before seen UAP information has reignited the global fascination. So if you live in the United Kingdom, and I do, we have our own history, you know, some pilots, you've got the, like down at Knocklake and Heath, the woods. What's the woods called? There's something forest. Randlesham Forest. Again, you know, with Randlesham Forest, the proximity of Randlesham Forest to nuclear sites, but then we're seeing this, you always see this UFOs around nuclear sites. So I do think there's a lot more to this than, you know, there's a lot more to this than we're being told. Again, I'm not convinced it's aliens. I'm not convinced it's demons. I think whatever it is, it's something strange, right? So whatever happens, the fact that these things are happening, right? These interviews, Donald Trump saying he's going to release the information, Barack Obama saying that aliens exist, and now JD Vance talking openly about, oh, don't worry, guys. You know, it's what's that? There was this advert. Well, not an advert. I think it was an advert by Peter Kay. And so you guys don't know what I'm talking about. There was this advert or a comedy sketch by Peter Kay. And he's on the phone to his kids and he's out with his wife, right? They're having a curry and he's like, 2 lambooners, please, love. And he's having a curry with his girlfriend, and the kids phone him up and like, Daddy, I'm scared of the ghosts. And Peter Kay says, no, there's no such thing as ghosts. You want to worry about the burglars getting in through the window. They're the ones that'll get you. And he hangs up. kind of like what JD Vance has just done, right? No, they're not aliens, they're demons. What? So now we have demons? So now aliens are not aliens? We just literally have like demons flying around with like, I don't know, like doing demon shit? So whatever happens, you know, whatever happens. I mean, maybe there's going to be a new website, demons.gov. So whatever happens, the fact that alien.gov and aliens now exists as an official US government domain is at least, you know, it's at least, it's at least big enough to make the, you know, that in itself should make the biggest skeptic pause and think, oh, well, that's a little bit odd. And then, if things couldn't get weirder, we've literally had a new Sphinx. There's been a new Sphinx allegedly discovered. So let me share this with you guys. I've got a short video. Is this it? Is it that one or is it that one? I think it's this one. Give me a second. Oh, yeah, it's this one. So there's a new, right, I'll just share the video. I do think these are connected.
Oh, I love it when things come out about the Giza Plateau. Professor Filippo Biondi, a satellite radar specialist with a background in radar with the Italian government, sat down with Matt Beale and stated that he had found a second Great Sphinx on Giza, buried beneath a 180-foot mound of compacted sand on the plateau. Horizontal passageways extending from deeper underground sections both show shafts that are descending down to depth. They both show horizontal tunnel systems extending outward, and they both show the same geometric internal arrangement.
Yeah, so no biggie, just another Sphinx has been discovered. So I'll have to change the subject. I'll have to change the title to this video, guys. But let me just try and give you guys a quick update on what this basically means. So, as you guys have just seen, the Great Sphinx in Egypt. In fact, hang on, actually, I think I've got a little diagram. Yeah. So let me share this diagram first. So, right, if you guys, so basically what they're saying is the new Sphinx is, I think it's top left on the screen. So the new Sphinx is in a geometrically identical location to the other pyramid, basically. So they're saying that this is two pyramids and you've got a Sphinx now more or less on the same, like, in a geometrical opposition, I guess. Geometrically mirrored. I think that's the way to describe it. So the new Sphinx is allegedly geometrically mirroring the old Sphinx in relation to the other pyramids. So that would make sense, right? You know, that would make sense that those pyramids are, that those things are real. Now, I was looking for the video, right? But I was looking for the video and I found a video. Well, I watched the video. I can't find it. And someone was saying that underneath the Sphinx, there's an ancient weapon that shoots down like space aliens or something. And I'm just putting this together now. And I'm really struggling with this one. There's no excavations have happened. I mean, like when information comes out like this, right? Another Sphinx. Like, why is there not somebody down there with a mini digger right now? You only have to, like, you could do this in a weekend, right? A little mini digger, couple of dump trucks. Literally, you only have to dig down to where the first bit of that Sphinx is supposed to be. If you hit rock, yeah, there's something here. Excavate the shit out of it. Like, that's what humans should be doing, right? So let me give you guys a little update on this, the double sphinxer. So just days ago, the Italian radar engineer Filippo Biondi stepped forward with a stunning claim using advanced satellite radar scans. Again, I don't know how these things work. Ground penetrating technology. Again, you can't penetrate the ground. My understanding of GPR, ground penetrating radar, is it doesn't work like that. You get 6 to 10 feet at best, but you need to be at ground level. But whatever, you know, I'm sure he understands the technology a lot better than me, a lot more than me. His team says they have detected what appears to be a second Sphinx buried deep beneath a massive mound of hardened sand on the opposite side of the plateau. Like, did nobody look at this and think, oh, honestly, guys, like, did nobody look at this big mound and think, hang on a minute, there's a Sphinx-sized mound in a geometrical mirror to the other Sphinx? Did nobody like think about this? Now, according to Filippo, we love Filippo, the data reveals precise geometrical symmetry. When you draw a line from the center of the pyramid to the existing Sphinx, and then mirror the line across the plateau, like, you know, I just showed you guys on the video, it points directly to this anomaly. Vertical shafts, horizontal passages, and a colossal structure hidden roughly 30 to 55 meters underground. Almost perfectly aligned, as if the ancient builders designed the site with perfect mirror image guardians. He's not shy about his confidence. Filippo says he's very confident, putting the odds at 80% that this is no natural formation, but a deliberate man-made monument, something very huge, could be part of an even larger underground megastructure or subterranean network beneath the Giza complex. Now it gets a little bit more weirder, because ancient clues may have been staring us in the face all along. Because there's a dream, there's something called like this dream stele, which was placed between the paws of the Sphinx over 3,000 years ago. And it shows two Sphinxes in mirror symmetry. I don't know if you guys have seen that. There's like this, it's like a tablet. And on that tablet, they've got two Sphinxes. So this announcement builds on the team's earlier 2025 claims of vast underground chambers and passageways beneath the pyramids. If true, this is going to rewrite. This would rewrite history if it's true. Because remember, we're told that the Egyptians built the pyramids, like 3,000 years ago, or whatever it was, 2,000 years, I don't know. And we're told that they built them in 20 years. I'm just calling BS to that, guys. I'm calling BS. You know, I'm calling absolute BS to building the pyramids in 20 years. I do think this is all connected. I really do, guys. And whether it's a psyop leading to some sort of Operation Covert Blue Beam, I don't know. But what I do know is that's what we're being told, right? Anyway, let me jump onto the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me jump onto the chat. Right, where are we going first? Right, we're going straight away to J. Paul. Paul J, sorry. Paul J, with his fantastic thumbnail. Have you changed that specially for the live stream? I hope you have. David Icke was a goalkeeper in the past. Fair play, earns a few quid with the reptilian narratives. Oh, I struggle with the reptilians, guys. I do. I really struggle with the reptilians, but I'm not writing anything off. Look, guys, I'd never write anything off. What I think is fair is extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence, right? I kind of like with this alien disclosure. One of the things I've said is like, I think we need to be very clear about what evidence is what evidence of alien life would be accepted by the scientific community? I don't know. Are we going to accept data readings and numbers on a screen? Are we going to accept grainy images on, you know, on a forward-looking infrared camera, FLIR? Or do we need more? When it comes to, like, you know, people like David Icke, I can remember listening to him, and he was talking about you know, British politicians taking children and a ring of high-ranking politicians doing things to children. And I remember thinking, yeah, that's not happening. That's wild. That's insane. I don't believe that. Turns out he was right. You know, when people are consistently right about things, you can't write them off about the other things they say, right? You have to take it all. You have to encompass everything and say, right, okay, you have to relook at these things with the same credibility, right? Dude named Brent is saying adrenochrome possibility. If the governments have been working with aliens, yeah, we didn't think I did. Yeah, I've not even considered that. With aliens, maybe they promised so many people for harvest. Powerful governments would import more people, millions of people. Right. Okay. Do you want to go down a dark path, guys? If you've noticed, I've not got the light on up there to give me like. If you notice, I've given myself like a little bit of a shadow on one side of my face. If you guys want to go down a dark path, okay. So in response to this, all right, to what dude named Brent's saying, right? You've all seen the movie Independence Day, right? You've all seen it, right? The first one with Will Smith, fantastic movie. If you watch that movie, go and watch that movie again. There is so much subliminal esotism, symbolism, and subliminal messaging in that movie. But anyway, go watch that movie again, right? And there's a scene in the movie where the president, like he goes and he wraps a thing around the president's neck or something. I think is he around the president's neck, or he telepathically communicates with the president or something. You know, and the president's like, and the president asks the alien, what do you want? And the alien says something like, I want all humanity to die. I want to eat all humanity or something. Okay, right. And then, you know, he gets up and he's like, the world must fight in one voice, and it's our Independence Day, and we're going to use FA-18s, and that's fine. Now, imagine the difference in movie dynamics if when the alien grabbed him round the throat or whatever, and he says, what do you want? And he says, I want I want to harvest half of your planet. The president would say, which half? The alien would say, I don't care, just give me half. So, like, we all think that if aliens are coming to harvest humans, right, that they want all of humans. Well, that doesn't actually make sense, right? It doesn't make sense to harvest all of humans. You would want to leave some behind to repopulate, and then you can come back in another few thousand years and, you know, harvest again. And I know that's a dark path, guys. It sent me a little bit crackers thinking about it. And to be honest, the war kind of cheered me up. So, yes, dude named Brent, yes, if the governments have been working with aliens, maybe they've promised a number to harvest. And maybe that number, you know, it would be in the millions of people, but who decides who's who? Right, I'm jumping down, guys. There's loads of comments, and I do need a wee. What does this button do? Says Ike, had just bought the V-Series videos in HMV, stopping at a pub. Then someone hated his cricketing opinions, spiked him with LSD. Maybe that might have happened. Paul is saying, in a few ancient texts, the Persians say Moses built a pyramid. Like, did Moses, like, how big was he? Clinks is with a fantastic head, is with a fantastic thumbnail, sorry, he's saying, that's why Will Smith gets paid so much. He exposes the truth. You see, I really thought Will Smith was cool until he slapped that guy. Like, he walked up and he slapped that guy. What's his name? Was it Chris Rock? I don't know. David Hennessy is saying, we can't believe anything the government tell us. That's why we have to talk to one another, not let them lie. Right, guys, my fundamental thesis, right, is if we get told that UFOs are if we get told this year that non-human life is a real thing, non-human intelligence, sorry, because that's what they're calling it. So that's like either an AI or like von Neumann probe or something. If non-human intelligence is real, then the next thing that we're going to be told logically is that they're on their way. And what if? Let's just go down this track, guys. Okay, let's just go down this track. What if? You know this Baal worship, and you're supposed to give offerings to Baal. What bigger offering would it be to give half of humans, like the whole half of the planet, to Baal? And what better way to do that than say that aliens are coming? Space Cow is saying, but they've always been here. Yeah. Okay. So listen, guys. Space Cow. Listen, I can't argue with Space Cow. Space Cow is like a subject matter expert. So, one of the things I don't know if you guys were at the beginning of the live chat, but what I said when I started this live chat was, sorry. I'll come back, Space Cow. But Paul J is saying Project Bum Plug. Right. Where's Space Cow? So one of the things I said right at the beginning of this live stream was when I was letting you guys know how I feel, what I think about this, and what I've always thought. It's a mathematical certainty that there is other intelligent life in the universe, right? With the amount of galaxies, solar systems, planets, all those different combinations, it's more or less, it's a mathematical certainty, right? That life will have evolved somewhere else. We know that life can evolve because, hello, we're here. Now, do I think that aliens, reptilian overlords, the Dracos, whatever they are, have come here from vast distances of the cosmos in little tin cans using known physics? Right? No, I think that's very unlikely. So the two options are, one, they're using unknown physics, and I can't really comment about that because it's unknown. I don't know what that means. So, it's an unknown to me. They could equally be operating in an alternate dimension. So they're here with us now, and that's what we perceive as ghosts. That's what we perceive as demons, because obviously you'd get good aliens and you'd get bad aliens. You'd get good aliens who want to help you succeed. You'd get a good alien who looked at Tyson Fury get knocked out by Deontay Wilder and say, nope, get back up and finish that fight. Because whatever that was, it was so supernatural. If you want to see evidence of like a supernatural abilities, Tyson Fury getting knocked out by Deontay Wilder in his first fight and he got back up, that was something else, guys. Anyway, so you get good aliens, obviously, and you get bad aliens, and these maybe are just entities that we see as the supernatural. Now, the other option would be like Space Cow is saying, but they've always been here and they've been here a long time. Now, in that context, the natural go-to would be on the moon, right? The opposite side of the moon. And could there be little UFO craft whizzing to and from the moon? Absolutely. That'd be so easy, right? Literally so easy. Like if you're in trouble in your spaceship, you just go up. Right, where's the moon? You look around for the moon and then you fly to it, right? Easy peasy. Likewise, if you're coming from the moon to Earth, right, we're going to Earth, right, where we're going? Well, go to his Antarctica base first, right, okay, so you just go and land on Antarctica. Nobody goes down there, you're not allowed. So Antarctica, some of the deepest, deepest parts in the ocean, that's where they could be as well. So yes, I do think that is a strong possibility. And if you look at like some of the previous, like, what's his name? Graham Hancock. Like Graham Hancock's been discovering things that prove that there's been intelligent life on Earth a lot longer than, we're perceived to believe. Like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years ago, there's these monolithic structures being put up. And so the theory that humans were, nomadic hunter-gatherers and foragers, it's just not true, because to build these big structures, you have to have some sort of civilization. Now, where did those people go? We could have been hit by an asteroid. We could have also been harvested, right? So let's put this down. I should probably do a standalone video on this. Ravens harvesting theory, right? So all these ancient civilizations, Sumerians, the Egyptians, like going far and far back, where did those civilizations go? Now, they say there was a cataclysm. They're saying it's the Younger Dryas. They're saying the Earth was hit by an asteroid. But what if it wasn't? What if the Atlanteans were just harvested? We want to get some sweet Atlantean adrenochrome. The Greys, the reptilians, they come down and they start harvesting like Atlantean adrenochrome. And then the Atlanteans, there's all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. I am convinced that that human history, it's far richer than we've been told. Right, I'm jumping to the bottom, guys. Jumping to the bottom. Woke Fatigue is saying, think about this. There are still hunter-gatherers living alongside our civilization. Yes. So if there are still hunter-gatherers living along our civilization, why didn't they evolve with the rest of humanity? Why didn't they evolve? What's different between, white Europeans, because they're the forefront, right? They're the leaders. Why didn't the other civilizations, other civilizations evolve? And they say it's because they've been isolated. This is the key. So when you talk about these Amazonian tribes and stuff, North Sentinel Island off the coast of India, these tribes are isolated, right? They say they're isolated. Isolated from what exactly? If evolution is real, if Darwin is real and everybody will evolve and technology is a natural evolution of humanity, why are these tribes that have been isolated, why have they not evolved technology? Why have they not started metal smelting? Why have they not started international trade, building spaceships? Why? Why are they still hunter-gatherers? Jack Jones is saying 9 billion people on Earth. I thought there was, whatever. I don't know how many people are on Earth. I've not counted them. 9 billion people on Earth. We are not on the menu. Oh, I think we are, guys. I think we are. I do. I think we're on the. I think humans are on the menu. Right, guys. There's quite a few comments. What time are we on? Right. So hang on a minute. Googling us is saying inside UFO village where fanatics talk to alien siblings in underground temples and carry out secret space experiments. Right, can I go there? Is that a holiday resort? So I don't know if you guys have looked into this. But a lot of the German technology allegedly was brought by channeling, talking to or channeling energy from another planet, another realm, I guess. And if you look into this, right, you guys know what Operation Paperclip is, right? Operation Paperclip, end of the Second World War, the Allied forces went into Germany and stole all the scientists, right? So we all know about Werner von Braun, Werner von Braun, or whatever his name is. We all know about him. We all know about the rocket technology that went to the moon. But I want to know where did these people who allegedly talked to, oh, hang on a minute, Google Enos is saying, read the article, right? I'll search for the article in a second. But so if that is true, I don't know if it is, but apparently, good old Adolf. I wonder if anyone in Germany calls their child Adolf anymore. Adolf, allegedly, for entertainment, there's quite a lot of information about it. He was the head of something, I think it was called the Vril Society. And he had this Austrian, getaway he used to go to. And allegedly, there were these, women, and they had really long hair. They could do seances and stuff and talk to aliens. So I don't know. But what I do know is that German aviation technology was so far in front of what the rest of the world had. It was so far in front. Right, let me find this article. Hang on, give me a second. Wow, 3 hours ago! 3 hours ago! Right, so I'm going to read this now, and this is from The Sun, right? This is from The Sun. I'm not going to share it with you guys because it's absolutely blasted. It's absolutely blasted with ads. So this was released today at 10:53 on The Sun, and it's an exclusive. It's a world exclusive, right? So I'll just read it. I'll just read the first bit, guys, okay? So out of this world. Out of this world. Inside UFO village where fanatics talk to alien siblings in underground temples and carry out secret space experiments. Nestled in the Italian foothills, a 50-year-old community lives a sci-fi reality. Talking to plants. Yeah, plants. Talking to plants. Yeah, I thought it said planets. It doesn't. It says talking to plants. Communicating with aliens from underground temples and renaming themselves after animals. I want to go, guys. I want to go. I'm in. Damanhur is a group of spiritual eco-villagers where hundreds of believers have swapped their birth names for lives in nuclear families dedicated to secret experiments and researching the cosmos. Guys, look, I'm just putting it out there. This looks awesome. I'll share with you guys some pictures in a minute. So it's in northwestern Italy. The Damanhurians believe the human soul originally comes from life out in deep space and see alien souls as their long-lost brothers and sisters. The community was founded in 1970s by a charismatic visionary named Falco Teresco, which translates to hawk dandelion. He was a former insurance broker who became a prominent Italian alchemist. Right, let me see if I can share these pictures. I can't share them without the ads. I can't. There's some fantastic pictures. I mean, they've got proper tunnels and stuff underground. I bet you can go there. I bet you can go there for a little holiday or something. Little city break. Little alien break. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start to close this live stream down, but, you know, it is a little bit, you know, these are things that are really happening. Now, I genuinely don't know what's real. We are in that phase already of, remember when all those videos about Netanyahu being dead materialized, and I still don't know what's real anymore. But there was a load of videos released basically, and it was saying like Benjamin Netanyahu is dead. He's got 6 fingers or what have you. And then there was other videos released, and I don't know. But I was watching one video, and there was a man, and he was using an AI, and he changed himself into Benjamin Netanyahu. He did it in real time, and he had like the split screen. I was like, wow, we are literally there already. I thought this was going to happen next year or the year after, but we are already at that stage where we don't know what is real and what's not real. So, for example, right now, if the BBC, all the news anchors from all the news stations just said, yes, aliens are real and they are coming. Here's the imagery. You know, here's where they're landing. You know, they're on their way. You would have to believe that, right? Because, you know, the reality doesn't matter. It's the perception of that reality. So the information that I'm getting right now, the data points are that there's going to be some sort of alien disclosure this year. Next year, we're going to be told that UFOs are coming. And the date for them to come is not August 29th. That's Judgment Day, right? That's Judgment Day. Jesus. Yeah, it's almost Judgment Day, right? Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The date that the aliens will be on their way is the date that the aliens are going to get here is Friday the 13th of April, 2029. And there's some dark reasons why they will be coming, guys. There's some dark reasons why they will come. Why they will be coming. Now, I don't know. I genuinely don't know whether this is going to be real or whether this is going to be a psyop. But that's the information that I'm genuinely getting. Now, literally, we just had JD Vance come out and drop a Peter Kay moment, right? He dropped the Peter Kay and he said, yeah, don't worry about the aliens because they're demons. Isn't that worse? Isn't that worse saying that they're demons? I don't know, guys. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. You guys are fantastic as always. I will be closing it, and I'll be back on. If I'm not back on in the afternoon, guys, I'll be back on later this evening, guys. Later this evening at 8 o'clock. What is with April? Escalations. Okay, no. So what I'm talking about there, Googling us, is the asteroid Apophis that's due to make its closest pass Friday the 13th of April, 2029. 2029, guys, not next month. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you good afternoon. I'll see you guys at 8 if I'm not on before.